Welcome to this nonprofit podcast NewsPod, where we amplify the voices of nonprofit leaders making a difference in their communities. I'm joined by Luisa Varela, Director of Operations, and Tim Swaney, President of Veterans Entrepreneur Tribe of Sacramento. This is a relatively new organization, and when I heard what you guys were doing next month for our vets, I just had to be sure to do what we could do to help you get your event shared with our audience. Tim, give us a quick overview of the organization, if you would.
Well, first, thank you for having me on. When Luisa mentioned you, I was super excited to talk about vets. So vets, at its core, it stands for the Veteran Entrepreneur Tribe of Sacramento, and it's where a community is built by veterans for veterans. And our focus is to help military-connected founders take what they've learned in service and turn it into real, sustainable businesses. This means education, mentorship, networking, but more importantly, access to resources that actually move the needle. We truly believe when we created this that no veteran should have to figure things out alone after they get out. Most veterans do have to figure out alone. And so VETS is that community that's about accountability and impact building that not only help strengthen our veterans, but the economy at the same time.
And we know on that exit transition from military to civilian life, so many vets get lost, and they get lost in the shuffle, they get lost in the cycle, end up being unsheltered, homeless in cases, and sadly, it's a very high suicide rate as well. What are you seeing in Sacramento?
I'm seeing that there are a lot of veterans that are lost. And being that it's Sacramento, there are so many people coming in and out that there's not a voice for veterans. And when this organization was created, we didn't realize how many veterans there were. And now they're everywhere, right? And it's really exciting. It's really motivating. It's eye-opening. I came here in 2019, thought, hey, I was alone. 7 years later, I realized we're an impactful bunch.
What prompted you to pick up some of those pieces and support the vets in this entrepreneurial experience, so to speak, or even experiment?
Well, it's funny that you asked that. So when I first, I'll try to make this as quick as possible. When I first came to Sacramento, I had just left the Navy after 9 years. And when I was trying to find a place in life, we call it a transition, but in reality, I think it's more of a reset, because you have to relearn everything and unlearn what some people might consider bad habits. And I was trying to find a job, and I could not find a job. And so I said, let me try to start a business. By doing that, there was a lot of suffering, and there was a lot of struggle, but I ended up connecting with another veteran organization that happened to be out in San Francisco, which is not even here in Sacramento. And they helped me transition my skills to create a successful business. And so this is just a long way of me saying, I suffered, and I don't want other veterans to suffer.
And through your experience, you have the ability to share that to minimize some of that grief that they might go through otherwise.
Exactly. Right.
And I know Luisa, who's not feeling very well, is going to sit a little bit more quiet today, also had the similar situation of having to find work when she transitioned out of the military. Same situation, a lot of difficulty, concern as a single mom. And it's just a tremendous amount of pressure that if it doesn't have to exist, let's do what we can to help support it. And I think that's really what you're looking at doing with this event that you've got coming up. The event that you've got coming up is one that I think is really significant. It's the Veterans Resource and Hiring Fair. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, it's a Veteran Resource Hiring Fair. It's in March. If you're local, it's in Elk Grove, District 56. And it's something that Luisa is the one that her idea and something that we're really proud of. We're bringing over 50 resource providers, vendors, and organizations into one space. Everything from employment and hiring to education, healthcare, mental health, housing, legal support, benefits, and of course, we'll be there, so entrepreneurship. And on top of that, we'll have employers who are actively hiring veterans. The goal is simple, really, for us is to make it easier for veterans to get access to what they really need without running all over the place or without even knowing they really needed it.
So you're going to have actually providers who can help a vet who's maybe considering becoming an entrepreneur, starting a business. And I remember Louisa sharing, you have some significant organizations like SMUD and Starbucks and Nugget, the Veterans Administration for Hiring, Five Star Bank. I mean, those are some big names that you've got there as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that it's super exciting and super thankful for, right? I think about me in 2019, if I had something like this, it would be so beneficial. A lot of us that first get out never interviewed in our life. We've had 4 or 5, maybe even a 20-year career, and now you're saying, hey, let's go find this job. Oh, by the way, you got to write a resume. Oh, by the way, you have to interview. Oh, by the way, we're not going to teach you how to do it, right? Mm-hmm. And this fair is to fill that gap.
Who would you say the event is for?
The event's for veterans, any veteran and supporter, right? The event is to showcase the importance of veterans, as well as to show the economy. Hey, when you put veterans together, look what we can do. Look how we may not be able to articulate how to do things because our vocabulary is different. But when we're given any type of struggle, we'll get through it, right? We have a saying, embrace the suck, something we're really good at, right? We're really good at just getting through it, right? And this is to show that for veterans, saying, hey, all veterans, whether you are new to civilian world or civilian world or experience, please come out, because you never know. It goes, like I said, it goes back to, you don't know what you need until you need it. And it's there.
For our veterans who are listening right now, organizations that work with and serve veterans, or employees, community partners who want to help, what's the one thing you want to be sure they know about what's going on March 13th in Elk Grove?
That they're gonna find real opportunities, not just tables, not just pamphlets, not just entry-level jobs, actual real opportunities. With over more than 40 businesses that are looking to hire veterans, this is where people can have real conversations with employers. And it's not just a resource fair. It's a fair to where an employer can meet with multiple veterans and see, okay, this is how veterans talk. This is how veterans walk. And so it gives more insight of, hey, are we actually hiring correctly? Are we looking at the problem correctly? And that gives that opportunity, right? While most career fairs, it's all kinds of people, this is very specific to those veterans to say, oh, they can do the job. We just needed to be able to listen and observe more.
And have an opportunity for them to engage.
Exactly.
I mean, it sounds like a great place to not only meet peers, people in similar situations, but to talk with employers who have an interest in them.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you give us all the details again, because we've kind of touched on it, March 13th, Elk Grove, District 56. Give us the rundown, where it is, how do they find out more information, how do they learn timing and everything on this resource and hiring fair that's going on?
Yes, so the resource fairs, it's on, I said in March, but it's March 13th to be specific, in Elk Grove, District 56. It's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You don't have to be there all day. If you want to, great. It's completely free for veterans, service members. It's free for everyone. Like, let me specify. It's free for everyone. We'll have over 50 providers More than 40 employers are actively hiring. Free food. A lot of veterans like to go for the food. So if anything, show for the food. Network. And if you need more details, you can always visit our website. It's veteranentrepreneurtribe.org. Make sure you use EU, not UE. I do it all the time. And we'll have everything linked, show notes as well. We love to see people there of all kinds. We'll have a lot of speaking engagements as well and a lot of experts. So it's not just about hiring. It's about helping, getting a leg up. So that's why it goes back to education, mental health, legal help, housing, and benefits as well.
Wonderful. Well, Louisa, Tim, next time, Louisa, we speak, I hope we get to hear from you a little bit more. I know you weren't feeling well, so I appreciate you even coming on to give some moral support here. Thank you so much for what you're doing to benefit our veterans. These are the very people who have done so much to benefit us. And thank you both for your service. And once again, the website is veteranentrepreneurtribe.org. Good luck with the event on March 13th. We're looking forward to hearing back on how well it went, how well it was attended.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for listening. If you like our program, please subscribe, give us a positive review, and share with someone you know. This nonprofit podcast NewsPod is a production of Hear Me Now Studio.